Yes. These fellows must be coming out.
That's Ab Bowen, who played for the
yes.
Colts.
After a practice.
Certainly looks like that's Leighton Ems. And Cease Cook. We're back down on the Main Street in Barrie again. That's the building I mentioned earlier that they did their recruiting and also advertised the war bonds. This would appear to be maybe a Remembrance Day parade. I see a lot of veterans there.
Another,
This is the parade of the, I think this was the Remembrance Day parade. Appears to me that way.
yes.
Yeah. There's an Air Force band going by.
Ladies appear.
Yeah, so this would be later in the war, of course. When
The wax here.
no, those are that was the Air Force ladies.
These chaps must be from base Borden here.
Well, all the troops were brought in for a parade like this.
And again, the post office is in the background with the flag tower.
Right, and the old Ross block is in the background. That was quite an office building back in those days. That's the Army cadets.
This is the Air Force?
This is the Air Force cadets. Local police officer back. There's Ernie Alexander there.
Oh.
And that vehicle right there was a converted car carrier. And the Travers bus converted it to a carrier of a bus that carried people back and forth between Camp Borden. And it had a rope that ran from the trailer up into the cab. And they were attached to a belt and pulled the cord to stop. These are hardened aircraft. This appears to me to be out of Eaton. As you can see the background as the planes come in. Telephone hydro lines running along the roadway. This back coming out of the Queen's Hotel. This is back in the Lions clubhouse, club meeting room. This looks like a dinner and dance.
A very festive gathering, this is.
It looks like they're all eating very well anyway.
Yes. I think this will be followed by a dance.
King George and the pictures in the background there, in front of the flag. And then they had a sing-song.
Who would that gentleman be, a sing-song?
I'm not sure whether that was one of the Craigs or not.
It looks like it, yes.
That's Bill Bell playing the piano.
Very noted piano player, wasn't he? And cigarettes in abundance.
In abundance. Didn't have to worry about smoke-free access in those days. Didn't have the knowledge that we do today. Everybody seems to be enjoying the sing-song. It's like Walter Coots in the background there. Yes, that is one of the Craigs. That's Frank Craig that's leading the band, at least singing there.
That gentleman on the right looks familiar, but I can't place him anywhere. Because you were a young fellow in those days.
I was a very young fellow.
That's Jerry Smith, I believe, on the left there, the former principal of Steel Street School, or the first principal of Steel.
That's Walter Coots, I believe.
And,
Bill Bell again dancing, and yeah, these fellows were much older than I was back in those days.
Yes, Mr. Bell, right there dancing.
That's right. Ready to pick a new partner.
Yes, followed by square dance.
Well, they didn't have a square dance, but they used to change partners that way.
I see.
Certainly livened the party up. I think some ladies were known going a little faster past one or two of the fellows than they ordinarily would go. I think some of the fellows tried to slow the line up in case the music stopped.
At the wrong partner?
No, I had to pick the right partner. Again, another Harvard aircraft. This is the homecoming of the Flyers.
Now, when would this have been?
I think that there's the tower that was on the station over in Allendale, which I believe is going to be put on again to restore the station the way it used to be. I have a feeling that this is the 51 club, 51 year that they won the cup in Winnipeg. Although the fellows all got Stetsons on there. A little later on, we come to another embarkation of the train, and it's taken on a different day, and I'm sure that was the 53 year. That's the year that Don Cherry was on the team. And coming up very shortly, we have a young John Brennan and Joe Whalen and Jim Gardner right there.
Oh, this is an Allendale. Look at them.
Yeah.
They had everybody out here.
Yeah, the whole town stopped that day to welcome the Flyers home.
It's rather interesting to know that Don Cherry attended Central Collegiate, and that my wife was keeping notes for him at times when he missed the classes.
Well, knowing Cherry, that wouldn't be very often. There's Ken Walls of the Barrie Examiner, and you can see almost half the town of Barrie is over there to welcome them. This is the coming out of the station, along the back of the station. This is lining up at Bradford Street to take the parade across Bradford Street over to the arena. Camera's moving around so quickly it's hard to keep track of people, but I guess George wanted to get everything in he could.
Yes.
That's the fire truck.
Welcome home, Flyers. Well, the whole town must have been out there, George.
All the girls of the band, the Barrie Collegiate Band. They finally got the parade underway.
Now, can you tell me why the aeroplanes were there? Or?
They were just there. That's the Welcome Home Flyers. That's the Prince of Wales School, and the sign in front of the General Electric. This is up on by High Street. That's the Barrie Tannery in the background there. Esso gas station. They used to take your driver's license test there when I was young. And the Central United Church in the background.
This is at the arena now.
We're at the arena, and can see that's the opposite the arena, of course. But
what a crowd!
they certainly filled the parking lot that day. We're back at the train now, so we're still disembarking.
But this is on a different day because the sun is shining here.
Yeah.
And is this a visit by somebody coming to Barrie?
Well,
Or is this
I think it's a hockey team coming home.
coming home somewhere from out west?
Yeah, so we could have the Flyers won it at Tap M's at 53,
And-
51.
And 53.
Yeah.
Everybody wears Stetsons here, or at least
Well, when they came back, yeah, with the
it isn't quite the jubilation of the first film. This, of course, is much darker as well.
that's right.
But they have a copy.
There's the
of,
Memorial Cup. Yeah.
maybe it was a delegation bringing it in. Was that to be shared with somebody, or?
Well, I couldn't tell you back in those days. I wasn't here at that time, but I was out of town.
But maybe we'll stir up some interesting questions through this movie.
I'm sure we will.
Now, these fellows. Oh,
This is the construction of the new arena. I believe this went up in '49.
this is very interesting. And proposals have been made to tear it down, and then it has been refurbished, and it seems to be in a good condition still.
Yeah, they took the steel girders out of the old place and put them over in the Barrie curling club, and this is the new wooden structures that they put up.
But the arena was in the same location.
Yeah, all they did is they just knocked out the walls and moved the walls out, left the ice surface the way it was. This particular picture, they're picking up the whole front end of the arena. It's interesting to see that don't see too many hard hats on these fellows.
No, the collegiate is in the background here.
You know.
I don't think you see any hard hats here. It's just come as you go, isn't it?
It certainly appears that way. And the fellows working up on the roof also with the safety harnesses and so forth, which would probably be required today.
Are they lifting this back in again, or did they demolish that?
No, they're lifting that up to put it in place.
I see.
And it's interesting to see one of the fellows here up on top of the ladder, just standing. I don't even see anybody holding the ladder. And there he is guiding it into the position on the wall. Now he's up on top of the wall, pulling it back in. This is at Brookdale Park, right opposite the Barrie Collegiate, the far side of Dunlop Street.
I believe there's a Chinese restaurant in there now. It's called King's Buffet.
That's right.
And some of these buildings are still standing. It was Stewart's that owned.
Stewart was the fellow that owned
that house is still there.
Yes.
And they had live animals on their property. I recall taking my children down there in the early 60s. They had swans, and they even had a bear in a cage at one time. This would not be permitted today. These two bucks seem to have locked their horns.
Well, they're having a good time.
Yeah, we left this in just for interest's sake. Well, they have broken apart now here, and they're going at it again.
This is the Santa Claus Parade that in Barrie back in this I would think probably is in the 50s, certainly.
This parade is coming from